This will guarantee to leave you poor. These 5 simple life traits, if you do not put attention on them and rid them away, I almost promise you, you will not have the abundance, the happiness, and the wealth that you seek for in your life. Simple life skills will guarantee to position you to obtain wealth, happiness, and fulfillment. But if you do not address these 5 characteristics, I almost guarantee that you'll be left unhappy, unfulfilled, and unable to obtain the abundance that you seek for yourself. So let me explain them to you so you can remove these out of your life immediately. The first habit you have to be willing to rid away with is the unwillingness to compromise. You see, in this game of life, you have to approach it like a game. And in order to be able to win at a game, you have to be willing to walk through different doors, sometimes doors that you're not initially meant to go through. And in order to go through these doors in life, you have to be willing to have a willingness to compromise. Sometimes it will require you to become a different person. Sometimes it will require you to talk differently. Sometimes it might even require you to give up certain habits or traits that you had previously that are no longer serving you. But if you do not have a willingness to compromise, it's going to become very hard for you to find success. It's going to become very hard for you to be able to be in certain rooms and to surround yourself with certain people who have made the ability to compromise in order to get where they are. So if you are trying to become successful in today's day and age and obtain the wealth that you want to obtain, you have to have a willingness to compromise. Number 2, you have to abandon being stubborn, and you have to abandon the crave of being right. There's too many people in today's society that care so much about their voice. They care so much about being heard. But to be honest with you, it is overrated to be heard. It is overrated to be right. What is important is to be respected. And too many people in today's day and age crave the ability to be right. They want to walk out of every conversation as the person that was right. And to be completely honest, you can be right all your life and you can be unfulfilled. You can be right all your life and you could still be poor. You could be right all your life and still not have the happiness that you seek for yourself. And at the end of the day, whether you're right or you're wrong does not determine your happiness. Your happiness determines your happiness. So you need to focus on not being stubborn. You need to focus on not trying to be right. Stubbornness is the enemy towards happiness. And if you can give up your stubbornness and be willing to accept more happiness and more openness in your life, you will see that doors will naturally open for you. Abundance will naturally come in, even when you're not trying, just because of your inability to remain stubborn and your inability to always want to be right. You do not need to be right. You just need to be respected. Having hate in your heart and leaving it there. Man, I wish I can remove this from so many people's heart, because I've seen what hate can do to somebody who is so kind, what hate can do to somebody who is meant to change lives. But if you have the ability to harbor hate, harbor anger in your heart towards another person, towards another human, towards a circumstance, it prevents your heart from opening up and being willing to accept love. It prevents your heart from opening up and being willing to give love. And love is happiness. If you're somebody that is trying to find fulfillment, if you're trying to find wealth and you're trying to find abundance, there is no abundance with the absence of love. If you carry hate in your heart towards another person, if you carry hate in your heart towards a circumstance, you're preventing yourself from being able to receive love and being able to give love in the fullest capacity that you're capable of. Gosh, man, I wish I can jump into every person's heart and just remove with a scrub and a sponge some of the hate that they have for other people or for other people's ideologies. There's nothing more important than you just focusing on yourself and your own internal happiness. But if you choose to focus on the hate you have towards another person, or that you choose to let the anger fester without moving on from it, it prevents you from being able to become the best person that you're able to become for somebody else. The best father, the best husband, the best leader, the best daughter, the best cheerleader, the best athlete. You want to become the best that you're able to become. But it's hard to do that if you're carrying hate in your heart. You are fighting an uphill battle towards happiness the more you keep hate in your heart. If you do not focus on trying to remove this and trying to address this, you will continue to fight this uphill battle towards happiness. The 4th trait that you have to be willing to rid away with is being overly frugal. Now, there's nothing wrong with being frugal, but what you attract is what you get. And sometimes I have friends who are kind of confused with the aspect of why they're not making a whole lot of money, or why they're not surrounded by friend groups where there's people who bring value to conversations, who are trying to level up in life. And it's because sometimes of the way in which they carry themselves. Some of these friends are extremely overly frugal, and what they put out is what they attract. And sometimes when they're trying to go to the marketplace and finally come out with their own ideas or their own products or their own services, they're wondering why some of the people around them are more resistant to buy some of their products or buy some of their services. And it really comes down to how they're carrying themselves. They're too overly frugal. You know, if you're somebody that wants abundance, shouldn't you be abundant? If you're somebody that wants to receive, shouldn't you already be giving? You see, I have friends who are overly frugal in the information that they want to share online. I have friends that are overly frugal around how they approach money. I have friends that are overly frugal when they go to eat out. And to be completely honest, there's no right and wrong way to do the whole frugalness thing. But what you put out is what you attract. And sometimes you need to spend money in order to make money. And sometimes you need to surround yourself by money in order to get more sources of money. If you choose to be overly frugal, you will find your tribe of other people who are overly frugal. And what ends up happening is you have this overly frugal trend of people that you're surrounded yourself with. And sometimes it doesn't lead to you having the life and lifestyle that you would like to have, the abundance lifestyle where you're constantly not in fear of the amount of money that is coming in. I have this friend who's on the internet all the time telling people how they should be saving their money, be extremely frugal. But then he finally came out with a program and a course, and not too many people bought it, even though he priced it at the right price model, because he attracted such a community of people that were so frugal that a lot of them didn't even end up purchasing his product, even though that they were his tribe and they were his people. Did he do something wrong? No, because he was teaching people how to be frugal, but when it came time for him to promote his own product or service, a lot of these people were resistant to purchase because they had followed his ideologies of being frugal. For better or worse, he got his message across. But if you're trying to get your way in life, because there is winners and losers at this game of life, then it would require you to sometimes not be so frugal in order to have that abundance come and be attracted to you, right? So that's important for you to know. If you're trying to bring more abundance into your life, you have to put out what you're wanting to bring in. And if you're putting out nothing but frugalness, you might attract only frugal people coming to your doorstep. Refusing to have a high income skill. Most people who have found success have done so by either investing their money or developing a high income skill that they turn around and share with the world. I believe that the high income skill is the easier part than the investing your money part because it's really hard to determine the market. All you really can do is just invest your money for the long term and hope for the best, unless you're somebody that's truly focused on investing. The real ladder to this is really spending time developing this high income skill. For me, that was tax strategy, the ability to interpret the tax code for the everyday entrepreneur, real estate investor, or high W-2 income earner. But having a high income skill not only gives you more fulfillment in life, it allows for you to open up more doors, creating more abundance. You see, when you have a high income skill, you can become a subject matter expert in something and turn around and market for that service or for that product that you are selling. But if you choose not to adopt a high income skill, what ends up happening is you end up working in a job where you're trading your time for money, and you never turn around and can create more valuable dollars in the marketplace because you can't attach your value to any one thing that is associated with you. I believe that investing is important, but I believe having a high income skill is just as important as investing, because choosing to have a high income skill puts a value around the skill, and that puts a value around my time. If you're somebody that's trying to get more of your time back, then you should value your time and be willing to quantify it based on what you're capable of doing for another person. In an hour's time, I might be able to save somebody $50, $100, $1 million in taxes. So there's a value around my time to be able to be on a phone call with somebody. Have you figured out a high income skill yet that you can learn or that you can adopt in today's society that will allow for you to be more valuable with your time? I believe that if you want abundance and an absence of fear about money, then it's important to make sure you're investing and adopting a high income skill on your way to finding success. My name is Karlton Dennis. I hope that these life skills are going to help you on your journey of entrepreneurship and help you obtain more wealth in today's day and age. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers.